speaking of things that other countries suspect of the United States, suspect out of the United States, the very loose policy in guns in the United States is affecting our global south in the continent, you know, with the iron flow of guns going into Central and South America. Besides the pipeline of having a diverse group of people going into foreign policy in the United States, have you thought about different and perhaps more immediate solutions to this?
I think this gets to the heart of where domestic politics and polarization are going to be a major blockade to some policies, right? It flows in a couple of ways. One, we have gridlock, right, which we might see, or some of us might see, in terms of gun control and stopping that flow, but also internally dealing with the supply and flow side. But it also, is problematic for signaling, right? And so as other countries are trying to figure out what we're going to do, which is an important part of our international system and our relations, they're not necessarily sure too, because we have these very polarized positions, particularly on gun control, at least by the parties, right? If you look overall, there's a bit more balance. But I will also say that within the notion of diverse preferences in the United States, there's a lot of variation within groups in terms of gun ownership, Second Amendment support, and it's not clear that that's actually, as we diversify those policy decisions, it's not clear that we actually will get, say, more support for gun control and internal regulation as we diversify. That's just, that's part of it, but that we just can't get away from some of that polarization.
I don't have a direct answer for what to do with the flow of guns. But one thing that I feel your question makes me think about and gestures towards, especially in relation to foreign policy and international affairs, is the issue of borders and mobility. So there's often an anxiety, for example, of porous borders and certain groups of people and COVID getting through, right? And I feel like it's important to also bring attention to what is mobile. Like capital is mobile. Certain ideas are mobile. Cultural products, weapons, and guns are mobile. And I feel like that's maybe an area and a focus that we could look at as well. What does it mean? What is created at borders? What kinds of spaces are borders? And then what gets through?